All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Stand Tall. It is September 1st. Wowzers. And in honor of missing yesterday's, I want to do a 3-for-2-fer or something like that, where we're going to do verse 29, 30, and 31 all together to constitute today's one, because the next one we're going to be doing is going to be a bunch of little verses together, kind of like before. So, without further ado, chapter 11, the 9 situations, verse 29. The skillful tactician may be likened to the shuaijian. Now, the shuaijian is a snake that is found in the Chang Mountains. Strike at its head, and you will be attacked by its tail. Strike at its tail, and you will be attacked by its head. Strike at its middle, and you will be attacked by head and tail, both. 30. Asked if an army can be made to imitate the shuaijian, I should answer, yes. For the men of Wu and the men of Yue are enemies. Yet if they are crossing a river in the same boat and are caught by a storm, they will come to each other's assistance, just as the left hand helps the right. 31. Hence it is not enough to put one's trust in the tethering of horses and the bearing of chariot wheels in the ground. So let's think about that as metaphorical real quick. Hence, it is not enough to put one's trust in the tethering of horses and the bearing of chariot wheels in the grounds. I just feel like, like he was just talking about storms and stuff, and it's like, it's just not enough if the storm is great enough, right? Kind of like anything that might be happening in the real world these days, it might be time for both sides to kind of look around and say, oh my gosh, there's a big storm, we need to help each other out. I don't know though. Let's find out where. Aha, here we are in the alternate translation. So a skillful military operation should be like a swift snake that counters with its tail when someone strikes at its head, counters with its head when someone strikes at its tail, and counters with both head and tail when someone strikes at its middle. Zheng Yi says, this represents the method of the battle line, responding swiftly when struck. A manual of 8 classical battle formations says, make the back the front, and the front the back, with the 4 heads and 8 tails. Make the head anywhere, and when the enemy lunges into the middle, head and tail both come to the rescue. So, this just makes me think of an anthology of Ted Lasso episodes in which they bring back this style of play where like one person is kind of like at the center of everything, and so it's like this like moving rotation of triangles, and you can't really figure out what's going on because it's kind of like not like the 3-2 whatever of soccer. I don't know, the 2-3-2 or however it all works out, but essentially you never know what is the head, what is the tail. And in that sense, you're confused, right? So, and everyone's always moving and coming to the rescue. And so that's the way to look at that. I'll fix this little. I have a little jade succulent, and one of its little leaves fell off. Time to propagate forth. Little one. Okay, so Master Sun says, the question may be asked, can a military force be made to be like the swift snake? The answer is that it can. Even people who dislike each other, if in the same boat, will help each other out in trouble. I like that one a little bit more. That one's a little bit more up to snuff with the times, as it were. We're not trying to do battle with everybody, but we are competing positively in this world. And so, when 2 people are in trouble, let's help each other out. Mei Yao Chen says it is the force of the situation that makes this happen. So like when times are dire, we're going to come back together. That's why I think the alien threat is fake, because it's going to unite us as one world against an alien threat, when in real life, it's a fake alien threat. In order to get us to unite as one world. Okay, Master Sun says, therefore, tethered horses and buried wheels are not sufficiently reliable. Du Mu says, horses are tethered to make a stationary battle line. Wheels are buried to make vehicles immovable. Even so, this is not sufficiently secure and reliable. It is necessary to allow adaptation to changes, placing soldiers in deadly situations so that they will fight spontaneously, helping each other out like 2 hands. This is the way to security and certain victory. So I think what Du Mu means by this is, horses are tethered, wheels are buried. Even so, this is not sufficiently secure and reliable. So then he says it is necessary to allow adaptation to changes. I think that what this essentially means is like when the storm comes, it's coming, all hell breaks loose. You just gotta roll with the punches. So I'm excited for the next one. We've got a lot of verses in the to go over. Kind of like last time, everyone kind of provides their input one at a time. But let's jump over here to sadly skipping one day and going to the next part 3. Let's just say that August 31st is consider your failings too, and since I missed August 31st this year, that will be a special one next year when we get to it again. September is fortitude and resilience. So even though we failed yesterday by not doing it, we're gonna stay strong, and we're gonna resilience against it. We're gonna resiliate against it. There's got to be a funny term. Okay. September 1st, a strong soul is better than good luck, from The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. Guys, get this book a grab at the local bookstore. The rational soul is stronger than any kind of fortune. From its own share, it guides its affairs here or there, and is itself the cause of a happy or miserable life. Seneca, Moral Letters, 98.2b. All right, so this is true both ways. It's kind of hard to see on the negative side of things, though, and I think that guys like Jordan Peterson kind of like point this out, when he talks about, you create your own hell and that sort of thing. And this is kind of the same thing. And there's been other reflections that we've done that kind of allude to similar aspects of like the world is what we create of it. And so the rational soul is stronger than any kind of fortune. Just maybe like rational, like that's a key term as well. Like that word and what it could mean as far as like how to control that word in our own lives, and is it making us happy or miserable? But like, so for me, I can definitely like make myself happy, right? Like by working out or being healthy or something, that just gets me in a good mood. There's all little tricks and things like that you found, either whether white lying to yourself into a good mood or just whatever. But also the misery as well. You could get, for me, I don't know, this is just an insight for me. Like when I used to work out a lot at the gym, I would sometimes feel like I was trapped, like I was creating my own prison around myself, because like the gym is a very iron heavy, I don't know, it's just a very artificial encapsulating place, and you're being disciplined to yourself, and you're forcing yourself into that situation and everything, but it still feels, just feels unnatural after you do it for a while, I guess. I mean, it feels natural, but it's like the setting, the environment, if you think about it, like as opposed to like going out for a hike or something like that, or stretching outside. But like you need to, like, I don't know. That's why some of those gyms out west that you see and some of those videos are really awesome, where they work out outside and have everything outside. It's pretty. All right. So I think that, it's also important to focus on making yourself happy, but also being aware of how you're making yourself miserable. And maybe that's the whole karma thing of like, if like, for instance, just, as a confession, like there have been times in my life where I've been working and I have not done things, I guess, up to par or as well as I could have. And, it's just how we do anything is how we do everything, right? So if you kind of like fail yourself in that moment of whatever that work is, or if you're doing work for someone else, like it just kind of depends on how you're looking at it. But like if you fail that, it's like, then it could lead to this and it could lead to this. And then like now you're in your own personal hell. Like you've created a hell around a situation that may or may not happen because of the anxiety of the situation. And now you've trapped yourself in this thought process. And so now it's like your own version of hell on earth. And so that's kind of where I come from with that reflection. So Cato the Younger had enough money to dress in fine clothing, yet he often walked around Rome barefoot, indifferent to assumptions people made about him as he passed. He could have indulged in the finest food. He chose instead to eat simple fare. Whether it was raining or intensely hot, he went bareheaded by choice. Why not indulge in some easy relief? Because Cato was training his soul to be strong and resilient. Specifically, he was learning indifference, an attitude of let come what may. What would serve him well in the trenches with the army, in the forum in the Senate, and in his life as a father and a statesman. His training prepared him for any conditions, any kind of luck. If we undergo our own training and preparations, we might find ourselves simply strengthened. I love let come what may, learning indifference, let come what may. That's huge. Indifference, let come what may. We do what we can to do what we can, but why care what other people think about you? Let come what may. Keep focusing on what serves you in your job. For him, it was the trenches in the army, in the forum in the Senate. So personal life, family life, father and a statesman, forum and a Senate, public life, community, and things like that. So his training prepared him for any conditions, any kind of luck. And it's like we do these things not because we're trying to achieve some outcomes, but so that we can just be ready and be prepared to adapt for when we find the snake, right? So that we know whether to attack at the head, the tail, or the middle, and how to defend against all of that if we're attacked at the middle, right? So if we're going to be more like that snake, if, like he said, his army, he wants to train so that it's like the head and the tail and the middle all at once, the enemy doesn't know. And so the attitude of indifference, let come what may, be ready to show your belly or your middle, I don't know, but just, be ready to attack with the head or the tail, be ready to retaliate to whatever comes your way. And that's why we train. That's why we do this. That's why we stand tall. That's why we reflect. We'll see you guys on the next one.